I said that I was curious about that recap. Rick in Buffalo came to Southern California, toured Southern California, was here an entire week. The guy who was right in the middle of it is the guy who actually hosted him. If anybody could give me a recap or an update on Rick in Buffalo's visit, it's the bra himself, Silk in HB. Silk, take your time, set it up. What's up?
What's up, brah?
What's up, brah?
So it was so great because, we talked earlier, but then the pool party on Friday at your cousin Corey's house. Of course, he's married to your niece, Karis. So, we were over there. And, of course, now Corey's nickname among all of our friends is Cousin Corey, which is great. So that was fun. And just real quick, I hope we did not overstep by hooking your family up at dinner Friday night because a friend of mine's a manager at the restaurant you were at, so I don't like to get into any personal stuff, but we were just trying to do something nice for you, Brad.
Dude, if you had any juice at all, you would have picked up the tab, but that's not what you did. No, Silk, it's all good. Well, it's all good. Listen, really quick, and finish your thought, but I want to make sure everybody knows this. Silk, you go so far back, you literally have known everybody and anybody ever associated with this show. Back when we had tour stops, you went to all of them on the road. Like, you've experienced almost everything that's ever happened on or off the air with this show. With that in mind, I need you to lay out the experience with Rick in Buffalo and how it compares to some of the other things you've seen and done with the show over the past quarter century.
Well, this was really cool because it was way more personal for me because I've been a fan of the show for as long as I have, but this took place in my hometown, and I was actually involved with some of the logistics along with Rich Flores, so it was really cool. And to see Rick was kind of overwhelmed, Brad. He on the air, he's one guy, but in person, he's a pretty chill dude, and he really had a good time and was kind of overwhelmed. And then to see the clones, dude, nobody rallies like the clones. Nobody circles the wagons like the clones. So to see, I didn't really know for sure. I mean, I knew for sure maybe there was going to be 20 people at Kit's place, Brad. So to see the people who rallied, the place was packed. I gave them a heads up, and the bartender's a friend of mine. I told her they ran out of glassware a couple times. There was this one dude named Brad who bought like 20 or 25 Jack and Coke so we could do a tribute to Randall. And the guy from the Goo Goo Dolls who does their merch, dude, it's hard to tell in the picture, but he showed up with there was a Goo Goo Dolls Yeti. He had like $500 worth of merch for Rick. And then, of course, Brad, the HBPD story was epic.
Tell me how that played out. What did you guys think when the HBPD rolled in?
Right. The rep of Kits, of course, it's been a little maligned, but all in good fun. I totally get that. And it's just literally blocks from my house, little local dive bar, just a cool place to hang. I've never seen the police in there, not ever. So we're all at the back of the bar. In walks HBPD. Of course, my antennae are up, brah. So I'm like, what is this? I know I Ubered over there, brah, so I'm in good shape. And they're literally like eyeing the whole place. Like, it looks like they're mad dogging, but I'm like, what is this? 3 cops. So they walk all the way to the back, like kind of past us, stand in the corner, turn around, look the other way. And I was standing next to Rick because the Google Dolls guy had just dropped off the merch. He does the, Lawrence Fishburne Neo Matrix thing with the hand and waves at us to come over. And I'm like, me? And he goes, no, the other guy. Because, of course, Rick is wearing all his Buffalo gear. Rick goes over there. I didn't go near, bro, because, I know to stay away from HBPD. And then it's confirmed, bro, as they're walking out. They're like, oh, yeah, we knew Rick was going to be here, bro. It was epic.
Dude, that is crazy. What time was that?
That was probably maybe 10:30, 10:45 at night.
Did Rick turn even more pale than he already is?
You know what? You'd think, people are saying, like, did he yell at them? No, he I mean, he
did
was
he try
cool,
to fight them?
But he looked a little unsure of himself walking over there. Because, like I said, 3 HBPD, and they weren't like in their Sunday best. They were in their overnight semi-tactical gear. So it made everybody pause for a moment, bro.
They didn't have guns drawn, though, right?
They did not, but I saw one of them. I kind of got the feeling like 2 of them maybe were big fans of the show. The other guy wasn't. The guy who wasn't did have his hand on his taser, bro.
Silk's breaking it down for me. So, Silk, how many clones do you think showed up for this thing at Kits?
Oh, I would say probably, and if you count, a few of them dragged their significant others who really looked like in full shock. Of course, my wife was there, and she knows the show, so she's chill. But I would say there was probably like, and remember, this bar is small, so the place was, you couldn't move in there. There was probably like 40 plus, maybe more.
So what was management's reaction? Like just standard Friday night, or like, damn, even we have never seen something like this in this place?
Well, when it comes to this bar, you can use the term management very loosely. There is no manager there. You basically have the bartender, and they run the show. I've met the owner once or twice, but they're not there on a daily basis. So it was really just my friend Yvonne, who's the bartender, and even she gave me a look like, wow, this is a lot bigger than I thought. And then, of course, like the usual crowd was there, and when they are all asking what's going on, and when people would explain it to them, there were some undercover clones there too who didn't know that Rick and Buffalo was going to be there, but were also fans of yours, bro. So then it turned into, Rick was posing for pictures, and it was like a whole deal, bro. It was killer.
That is great. Silk, bro, breaking it down. That's how you do it. All right, before I let you go, is there anything else that I need to know, or we all need to know about that week, or are we good?
We are good, although, like I said, your super close family connection to my friends is now living on in infamy. And don't think we didn't put on the Sonos, Brian. Stucknut sent us a link to you cracking on my buddy Corey, and we weren't listening to it at the pool, bro, with our high-tech pool party style, bro.
Yeah, I would not say that if I didn't think it was going to get back to you, of course. So good. Glad to hear it. Oh, and by the way, bro, thanks for setting me up for that dinner Friday night. Much appreciated. Good looking out.
You're welcome, brah. Anytime, brah.
Alvy, brah.
Brah. Come on.
Come on.
Come on.
Now he's gone. I think that's the first interview I've done with Silk since he won the Smack Off. But he laid that out beautifully. And I wanted to reset that. Like, Silk really has seen pretty much everything as it relates to this show. Back in the day, a lot of you listening right now don't know about the World Tour. Back in the day, I took the show on the road. We didn't do it on the air, but we did it on the road. And a number of the hardcore clones, guys like Silk, Trapper, the CEO, they would hit the stops. They would travel. And they'd get out there right around the same time I did, and they'd all congregate on the road. And social media was not a thing then. So these guys had to work pretty hard to connect with other clones. So Silk has seen all these things a million times. So I was really curious what it was going to be like when a clone came from Buffalo. Like my man Chris Beard. Chris Beard is fascinated by the process of all things. And so I got to talking to him on Friday. Check that, Sunday, when I got into Lubbock, and he was really curious about the show and the culture of the show and what are the guys like. And I said, well, there's this thing going on right now in Southern California. You've got a listener from Buffalo who made the pilgrimage out there. They're in a bar. The HBPD came into the bar because they know the show. I mean, just wild stuff. Like, how would you explain the jungle to anybody? Almost impossible, unless you're right in the middle of it. I am disappointed by one thing, that Silk said that Rick in Buffalo is a certain way on the air, but not off the air. That disappoints me. Somebody might say, well, Rome, what about you, man? You walking around all day long, 24/7, talking smack to your wife and kids? Well, no. But I do believe everything I say. I mean, it's who I am. For better or for worse, this is effectively who I am. So I was kind of hoping that Rick did try to fight everybody he ran into in Southern California. I was hoping he did yell at everybody he came in contact with. Hey, Silk, do not break the kayfabe. I know you know what that means, Silk. Come on, man. I've got this image of Rick. Rick hating people. Rick wanting to fight people who look at him the wrong way. Rick walking over to the HBPD and say, you got a problem. Yeah, that's what I thought. And turning around and walking back to Silk. This is how I want to know this guy. All right, we're coming right back. Still banging through open phones. So I've heard from Matt, I've heard from Silk. I have not yet heard from Rick himself. Although, Rick, I'm not sure what you have to add to that. Silk pretty much covered everything.